Hi guys, I'm Janssen D and I'll be showing you a basic tutorial about PowerPoint. So let's get started. Over the top over here in Microsoft Programs, you got these ribbons going, right? These are the home ribbon, the insert ribbon, the design, animation, slideshow, review, and view. Okay, you may have slightly different ribbons up, but everyone has their home, insert, design, animation, slideshow. These are the 5 major ones in PowerPoint. Let's start with the home and let's look at the general structure of the layout of the PowerPoint. And you just start. Okay, so here down the left side you have your slides. Okay, so this slide right here is a miniature thumbnail, if you will, of this slide that I'm working on right over here. So if I entitle this new presentation, okay, you can see it's also typing it in over here. Okay, so the way you add a new slide is under the home ribbon, new slide. You can just click it over here, or you could click down here and actually simultaneously enter new slide with a certain theme. Okay, I'd like to start with blanks, or if I know exactly what I want, maybe I'll just want one with the title at the top. It'll insert it in. You'll see slide 1, slide 2 over here, right? So I'll go to slide 2 and I'm over here. So let's just call this part, let's say slide 2 of my presentation. Alright, and you can see I can flip through slide 1, slide 2. Alright, and now I can add another slide. Let's add a blank one. See, since I was in the first slide and I added a new slide, it slipped the slide between these two slides. I can also delete a slide. Delete a slide from the left side. Just click on the slide and hit delete, not backspace, delete. Okay, so now I'm down to 2 slides. Alright, I'm just gonna add a third one. I'm gonna click on the second one and add a blank one, so it'll add it after the second slide. So I have 3 slides here. Let's say I want to add a picture into this one, which will transition us into the next ribbon. Before I move from the home ribbon to the insert ribbon, okay, I want to just maybe touch on these other options you have here. Basically the stuff you're used to seeing in Microsoft Word, Excel, and if you used to that, okay, it's the fonts, it's the in the alignment of the text, it's adding shapes. You know, over here we can add shapes. That's always fun, right? And all the other options of all those things are over here. Okay, so this is the stuff you're used to. It's the quintessential what we covered in this section of the home ribbon is the quintessential PowerPoint section of this ribbon. So let's go over into the insert ribbon now. This got a lot of new switched up. Sometimes we go to slide 3, click over here on the left. Sometimes you want to add a table, right? You want to have some data. You could choose the dimensions on your table and you'd see it's previewing it over here on this slide, and you could add a table and you can begin to type inside like column 1 and so forth. Alright, you could also actually insert a live Excel spreadsheet, okay, using the same procedure under the table. And the way you do that is just select that, and the Excel spreadsheet takes a second, but what exactly doing is embedding an Excel spreadsheet. You see this, if you're used to Excel before, you'll be quite familiar. And so I have a live spreadsheet. Basically I have the formula bar here and I can work around here like I was open a real Excel, and when I'm done with this I could just click anywhere outside the slide and this will turn into a rather more of aesthetically pleasing looking table from my presentation. Okay, and maybe you want to do some stuff to this, which once you select this you can go over here to format, and by clicking there you could choose different formats for your table, right? And you could also maybe adjust the size of the font by going to the home ribbon and highlighting things. Alright, so these are all the things you could do. I don't want to go to the details with this, but you should know you could embed an Excel spreadsheet into a PowerPoint presentation like this. Okay, now let's add another slide. We'll go to home, new slide. Let's add a blank one. Let's go back to the insert ribbon. We could add a picture. Click on picture, and PowerPoint will allow us to search on our computer, and we could just find some pictures and throw them into our presentation. Okay, so how about the picture of the great astronomer? Okay, so this is a picture from my file. I just found it using the insert picture, and I added it. Okay, and you could resize it if you want. You can make it bigger, smaller, move it around. Okay, you may be even able to drag it onto a different slide, move the slide around. Okay, that's how you add a picture. That's a key one because everyone needs a picture. Here's a clip art, but we're not going into it. And shapes, all bunch of stuffs, charts, text box. Text box is important. Text box, let's say I want to write here, slide 4. Alright, I need to first insert the text box because this is not like any document where I could type anywhere. First, I need to insert text box. Draw the text box and start typing, and click off, click on if I want to edit anything, resize it, move it around. I can even spin it around, all kind of stuffs. So that's the text box. That's very important. Next, we have a header and footer, word art. These are the stuff we may or may not familiar with. These are less often used, so we're not going to it. Third thing I want to cover is adding a movie. Here you can add a movie from a file. So just like in the picture, we can look for a movie, and you can, for example, I can add one of my videos. This might take a second, so I wanted to play. PowerPoint will ask me how do I want the movie to start on the slideshow. So it says play automatically when it starts or when I click on the video. I want more control when I do presentation, so I'll choose when click. Okay. Now I probably need to resize this because it looks like it's much bigger in my presentation. Okay. So I could just, what I did was I zoomed in and out using down here, if you see where I'm at. Okay, and I zoomed out, I resize, and I'm zooming back in. So this video, when I do my presentation, will play when I click on it. So this is a video file here I've inserted into the PowerPoint. So this is a picture, this is a text, this is a video. The fourth thing you might want to add is a music. So under insert, sound. Okay, you can add a sound file, a music or MP3 file, or I know clip art has some options with sound, but here you would just say sound file. Find your music, and it'll ask you again, like the movies, do you want it to play automatically when the slide comes up with the presentation, or do you want it to play when click? Again, maybe I'll choose when click because I want more control. This gives me a little symbol here. Maybe I'll drag it on the corner, and when I click it during the presentation, it will play the MP3 file that I chose. Okay, on this slide 4, we got a lot of stuff. We got picture, movie, and sound. Alright, all stuffs that's really important and will come up with your presentation. So that's the insert ribbon for you. We had a table, we had a picture, we had a movies, we added music, and we also, if you remember earlier, slide 1, we actually added uh, shapes. And so we also done that. That's pretty easy and fun. Okay, let's go to home, add new slide, and you see we're on our fifth slide already. We can move slides around by grabbing and pulling them around. Okay, that's useful. We could also delete them. Remember we did that. And let's go over to the third ribbon, the design ribbon. Here is where just one click can make your presentation look very professional, and this gives you lots of preset themes, and you can hover over these themes and you'll get a preview what your presentation will look, and this will really make your slideshow look very professional. And you could play around with this, have fun with this. There are a bunch to choose from. I'll just choose one just to give you an idea of what it does. Basically, it does give a nice theme to everything that I've done, okay? And it looks very unified throughout the presentation, and it gives a nice touch, okay? You have further control here. You can mess with the colors if you want to fine tune. I can even keep the same theme but maybe change my color. I can change fonts here, themes, theme wise. So I do it once here and it does into the entire presentation. It's really powerful and time saving. I can add effects here. You should play with this stuff. It's quite fun. It's not that difficult, and if you don't like it, you could always change it. Okay, so that's the design ribbon. Next, let's go to the animation ribbon. Here, you're going to be able to do custom animation on objects in your slides, okay, as well as fonts. So people that you might have seen that has a nice PowerPoint presentation have some fonts flying in, or maybe appearing out of nowhere, disappearing, flying in and out. Okay, you could highlight the objects that you're interested in animating. You could click on custom animation, and then over here you can add effects, entrance effects, emphasis effects, exit effects, and motion paths. I encourage you to play with these. They're all fun and easy to use. I'll just show you one offline. So you see it gave me a little preview, okay? So I added an offline effect on this text over here. Alright? If I add a let's say a box, it will preview that. So play with this stuff. You could animate each thing on this slide separately, and you can control the order. That's the whole different tutorial altogether. I just wanted to present this to you so you know what's out there, what tools you have. That's the purpose of this video, is for a high level presentation. Okay, now back to the animations ribbon. In this center portion here, we have transition. Well, transitions are how one slide goes to the next slide. Okay, so transitions goes between slides. So you select slide 2, you could select a transition like this one, dissolve. So this is how slide 2 will show up. You could always use these stuffs, and I encourage you to do so. And you can choose different transitions for each slides, and you know, this will make your presentation look a lot cooler. So play with these stuffs, okay? So again, transition is when one slide transitions to the next, okay? And you can finely tune these things with these options over here on the right, okay? And that's pretty much the animations ribbon in PowerPoint. Now, the last ribbon I want to talk about is the less important ribbon in PowerPoint, is the slideshow ribbon. This one basically is where when you're ready to view your presentation, when you're in front of your class, when you're in front of your conference, or when you're doing it on your own to see how it looks, to preview it, this is where you'll come. So here you could select from beginning, and it will preview, and you could see your presentation from the beginning. Now for purposes of this capture, I can't use this option because it'll open in a new window. But here, the screen will go full screen and you'll see your presentation without any of these things on the side that we have over here. Just the slides, okay? Here is where you could choose the presentation from the current slide, and here's some other options. One thing I like to mention, which is quite important, is sometimes people like to set their presentation to play automatically, okay? And here is where the options are for that. So basically is what it's gonna do is it's gonna take into your presentation and give you control, like a stopwatch where you could say next slide, and in PowerPoint will record how many seconds each piece will play, and you could determine that on your own, and this way it will record it, and when you play it, it'll play automatically all the way through. You don't even have to be there, okay? Sometimes people need this, sometimes people don't want this, sometimes people want to control with their mouse in their presentation. So I think I went through about 80% of PowerPoint, and I think I've covered most of the important basic parts of PowerPoint. Well, that's about it. I hope you've learned something in my video. Once again, I'm Janssen D. Thank you for watching.